Mike Riley, ESPNBoston.com High Schools here with you from the TD Garden in Boston alongside ESPNBoston.com High School editor Scott Barboza. And we just wrapped up the second half of our 6 games here at the Garden. And let's take you right to the highlights. We're going to be looking at Austin Prep and Malden Catholic. First period action, 10 seconds to play in the first. Tyler Sifferlin with the sweep move and the backhanded goal. Malden Catholic would be on top 1-0. That would be the score after the first. And the Lancers didn't have to wait too long to get their second, just 30 seconds into the second period. Aaron Nazarian strikes right into the top corner for the 2-0 lead. Just moments later, Lancers on the power play. Nick Raleigh with a slap shot just inside the blue line. That made it 3-0. Malden Catholic looking like they're running away with it here. 11:33 to go in the period. Lancers now on a 2-1 break. Matthew Fillet chooses to take the wrister. Good choice there. 4-0 Malden Catholic. And then 11:21 remaining in the second. Austin Prep would get on the board. Cam Russo fires home at close range. It's now 4-1. Just with under 2 minutes to go in the period, Sifferlin scores again, and the Lancers take a 4-goal lead into the intermission. Austin Prep's Bobo Carpenter would score twice in the final period, but it just wasn't enough to stop Malden Catholic winning their 4th straight Super 8 championship. 5-3 is the final. And Scott, Malden Catholic, the 4-time defending state champion.
It's pretty amazing. Obviously, 4 members of the Lancers group were there for all 4 years. 2 of those kids were really, pretty integral producers on all 4 of those teams, really. Nick Raleigh, senior captain, and Tyler Sifferlin, another senior captain there. That's a really remarkable run. Obviously, we'll get to Duxbury in a little bit, another 4-time repeat champion, a little different scenario there. But, to take the Super 8 tournament 4 straight times, obviously, that's a pretty remarkable achievement. You think back to some of the all-time great runs, Catholic Memorial, going back in time, Mattanon, some time ago. This really establishes, I think, if it hadn't already last year or the year before that, Malden Catholic as one of those, hallmark standard bearers of Massachusetts high school hockey with this accomplishment. And really, again, they do it with style. It's kind of interesting talking to, some of those aforementioned guys about the journey. The first one, freshman year, St. John's Prep, one of the best high school hockey games. I think even the old timers will tell you that go way before I will tell you that was one of the best high school hockey games ever. There were all the Division I talent across the board, great atmosphere, and an absolute classic. And that put Malden Catholic over the hump. Year after that, another great game against BC High, and then, of course, against Austin Prep here in the last 2 years. It's been a really magical run, and, of course, like everything that the Lancers do, it's always with a tinge in the fingerprint of Chris Serino. Of course, the late coach, still this coaching staff is all coached under Coach Serino. For those kids that started as freshmen on this run, they were coached by Coach Serino. It really ties back to him, and this is, it kind of felt like in some ways, not that the cupboard's bare by any extent going forward, and you will probably see them back at this stage once again next year. Now we're going to get into that, but this really kind of felt like, the marquee on really a really historical period of again, Mass high school hockey.
And a dynasty, I guess you could pretty much say that. And for a senior playing for Malden Catholic, you won a state championship every year you were in high school. So you'll be able to tell your kids, when they're all grown up, when they do have kids and grandkids, I won a state championship every year I play for Malden Catholic.
Try topping that. You can't.
It's pretty good, huh? Not bad at all. Yeah. Well, another team that had a little dynasty in the making, it was the girls for Duxbury as they went up against Arlington Catholic in the Division I girls state final. We'll take it to the highlights right now. We'll pick it up in the third period. No score. Duxbury's Jane Dudley would score 40 seconds into the period for the 1-0 lead. And then Arlington Catholic's Danielle Kelly would get it right in front of the net. And that would tie things up at 1 apiece. But Duxbury saying, just seconds later, Marissa Fichter puts Duxbury back on top off the face-off. Fichter shoots and scores, and they would take a 2-1 lead. The Cougars for Arlington Catholic with one final chance here in the closing seconds, but Duxbury goalie Rachel Mayette with a huge save. Duxbury holds on for the win, their first ever Division I title. But Scott, looks like they already are a dynasty anyways, right?
Yeah, the 3 straight Division II titles, and then coming up this year, Division I. You know, it's been kind of interesting looking at our statewide poll in the last couple of years. Duxbury's been a Division II team that is, you know, at times been our #1 team across the state, and it's still, well, they're a Division II team. Why do they belong? And I think they showed that here tonight. Obviously, a very talented Malden Catholic team that will again probably be back in this stage again as they were last year. This Duxbury team has played all comers in this state, and they've beaten everybody at this point. I don't think there's any questions left, and there shouldn't be questions left either about Rachel Mayette, senior goaltender, who goes out. I mean, you talk about, you know, Vladislav Tretiak, Billy Smith kind of numbers with looking at Rachel's career. I mean, a below 1.00 goals against average for her high school career. High school career. I mean, that's I don't even know what to do with that. I mean, it's that ridiculous. I mean, and to be able to do that now at the Division I level, to prove, as I said, that they've played the very best that the state has had to offer, really in the last 4 years, and they've beat everybody. There's no questions left to ask about this group. Friend Weiler has done, I mean, one of the best coaching jobs continuously year in, year out, as has been done across the state at any level, you know, regardless of gender. It's time that needs to be recognized too. And as we talked about, Malden Catholic being, you know, again a torchbearer, a standard bearer of Massachusetts high school hockey. You know, Duxbury to me now joins that class. You know, for so long it was St. Mary's of Lynn and what Frank Pagliuca built there. I think you have to put Duxbury right in that conversation now.
And the Duxbury Dragons, a very strong athletic program, obviously known for lacrosse, so we know about. Yes, we will. Coming soon. Nice segue for ESPNBoston.com high schools. But the girls' hockey team for Duxbury winning the state title. There was one more game. It was the finale, Beverly and Medfield. And we'll show you the action here. We'll pick it up right in the second period. Beverly's Nick Albano with the slap shot from just inside the blue line. But it's tipped by Matt Hammer. Hammer is credited with the goal. Either way, Beverly goes on top 1-0. But it wouldn't be for long. 22 seconds later, Medfield ties the game. A big scramble in front of the net. Justin Hirschfeld ends up putting the puck away. We are tied at 1 after 2 periods. In the third, Beverly would retake the 2-1 lead. Jesse McLaughlin unassisted 2 minutes into the period. And the Panthers would go on to win this one 2-1 over the Medfield Warriors. And Medfield did outshoot Beverly 11-10 in the third, 18-17 overall. But the Panthers take home the Division II title here, Scott. A very exciting game and a very loud atmosphere from both sides of the crowd.
Yeah, one thing I think needs to be said as we kind of wrap up the day on a whole, too. I mean, terrific crowds throughout the day. Even the 9 o'clock Division II girls game I thought was tremendously attended by both Wellesley and Westwood. That was a great kickoff to today. 16,400 was the total that was given to us on total attendance for the day. And clearly that Division II game did not disappoint. I love the Beverly fan section behind their goal. Big section. They always come loud and proud in Beverly, no matter what sport it is. Great atmosphere, of course. You know, Medfield, talk about another team with turnover and relatability there with lacrosse. We'll be seeing them in Division II in that tournament again. That's another great town that comes out and supports its athletic teams. I mean, this place was jumping, and in particular, you know, there were some finishes that were not in doubt here throughout the day. This one was to the very final seconds, and throughout the game, I mean, it was just tremendous, up and down, back and forth. I thought the key to this game coming in was Medfield's ability to be able to skate with Beverly after seeing that powder keg that went off against Duxbury. Medfield did that, and they went toe for toe and stride for stride with Beverly, but in the end, just a little bit better for the Panthers.
And pretty emotional, bittersweet, if you will, for the Beverly Panthers in the post-game. I know you were down there catching some interviews, and they had a couple nice tributes, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the sources for inspiration with this group were almost endless, and they were abundant, and this group embraced every single one of them. Of course, goes without saying, Bob Gilligan, the head coach, his struggle with cancer, coming all the way back, being back with this team. Of course, that was a motivating factor for this group in the last couple of years. Last year, you know, when it seemed like they were at the precipice of one, they didn't quite get it done. You could feel that weight around that group just because of that particular reason. And then to be able to get that onus off their back here tonight. I mean, the emotion there was evident in itself. And then, of course, one of their own brethren, obviously a St. John's Prep athlete, but Pete Freitas, BC baseball great, and we all know about his, courageous battle with ALS. He showed up here tonight to cheer the boys on. We didn't realize it until the end. They didn't realize it down in the room until pretty recently. Pete, I understand, went under procedure. Didn't know if he was going to be here today. Toughed it out as he always does. He was here. The boys acknowledge him at the end of their win. There's that, and then of course the silent, resolved, well-spoken leader of this team. I think as any hockey team, you build off your goaltender, and they got a real rock back there in Tim Birarelli, a kid that has been one of the top goaltenders in the state for the last couple of years here. Also has a personal battle going on with his dad being diagnosed with cancer, and just fights through it all. Takes on, the team, his family stuff, I think with the plum, which is really, what you want to see out of a model student athlete. And all those sources of inspiration kind of come to a head here tonight with the team from Beverly that, I personally thought coming into last year, I was trumpeting them for the Super 8 all last year. I really thought they were on that kind of bubble this year, and then it was going to be interesting to see how they bounce back this year. And credit to that group. I mean, pretty darn impressive run.
And a good way to cap off the day here at the TD Garden. 6 good games where we saw all day long, started for the morning right up until the very end. Championship Sunday, another one in the books, Scott. Time for you to go on a vacation.
If that's what you want to call lacrosse season, I'm up for that. But, it's always bittersweet. I love being around the rinks. Everybody that knows me knows that this is my favorite time of the year. And this tournament has been absolutely spellbinding. You talk about, Beverly, Danvers, when talk about getting that over the hump there. They needed that win. That was a great environment. Talk about Reading that came away with the state title here. That shootout game that nobody's ever going to forget against Wilmington. Austin Prep, BC High in the Super 8 semifinals. I mean, there were just so many. It always feels so compact when you go through it, and when you decompress from it and you remember those moments. I think this year is going to be, at least in my personal memory, this might be my favorite.
All right, well, we want to thank the hard-working crew behind the scenes who was with us from start to finish for the entire tournament season. Scott Barboza, ESPNBoston.com. High school editor, Mike Riley, ESPNBoston.com. High schools here with you from TD Garden. We'll see you next time here on ESPNBoston.com High Schools.